Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Indianapolis Colts, but more specifically Carson Wentz after the breaking news that he's going to miss 5 to 12 weeks due to him needing surgery. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you viewing, comment down below. Do you think the Colts can and will still make the playoffs in the 2021 season? Obviously, he's going to miss possibly some part of the season, but not everything, so they could still pull it out. Comment down below, do you think they will? Getting straight into it though, Carson Wentz getting surgery on his foot is not ideal for the Colts team or Carson Wentz. He was supposed to go to the Colts and turn his career around. Looking at it though, 5 to 12 weeks. The kickoff for the Colts is September 12th. September 13th would be exactly 6 weeks. So that's the perfect range. 5 to 12 weeks is a broad range, but giving him 5 weeks and 6 days, that's still within the range, and he could possibly start week 1 in the NFL against the Seahawks. He's more likely not going to miss the preseason unless that 5 weeks of recovery becomes 3 weeks, but also there's the backside of it being 12. So I don't see that happening, but it is possible for him to be back week 1. I really want to push it. I'd take an extra loss if I need to, just to make sure he won't get hurt again. I am not rushing him by any means. I want him to pan out to be my franchise quarterback, whether it be this year or next year. I do not want to rush him and put him in a scenario where he just is not 100%. I don't want him to be 95%, 98%, 99% healthy. I need 100%, if not more. I need 110% out of Carson Wentz health for me to feel comfortable putting him back on the field. However, looking at a more pessimistic point of view, not positive of being, he could get back in 6 weeks and be at the start of the season, assuming it's going to be closer to the range of him missing 11 to 12 weeks. Week 6 against Houston, what I think would be either 11 weeks or 12 weeks, one of the two. That would be a decent time to come back in. I don't want to say it's a cupcake game for him to enter, but to give him plenty of time, basically the max amount of time that is expected, and he'd go into a game that he could deal with. Of course, it's a division rival, but assuming there's no Deshaun Watson, I would much rather if I'm Carson Wentz play a game against the Texans rather than the Titans at home, or the Ravens, or the Browns, or the Seahawks, or the Rams, or the Niners, or the Cardinals, or whatever it is, or the Bucks. I would much rather play the Texans week 6. And like I said, that gives him the perfect amount of time, and he's going to a game he can handle. And, entering week 6, the 5 games before that, the Colts play the Seahawks, the Rams, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Ravens. Those are 5 possible playoff teams, in my opinion. If the if the Colts could get to week 6 and be 2-3, that's a win. I know that's below 500. But if you could take out 2 of those 3 teams without your starting quarterback, with a backup quarterback, that shows you have a bright season to look forward to. If you're Carson Wentz and you believe he's much better than your backup, he could step in and hit that next level that we're expecting. Like I said, 2-3 is a win to me. Even 1-4, they could still push for the playoffs. It'd be a heck of a run in a very difficult time. But looking at it, Seahawks week 1, that's going to be a hard game opener for Carson Wentz or backup. Playing Russell Wilson, playing DK Metcalf, a team that's been together and is hungry, versus a Colts team that still needs to find themselves. Titans loss in Tennessee, that's kind of expected with Carson Wentz or not. Titans or Colts expected to split. They each won their game at home. This one's going to be in Tennessee. It's almost expected you would lose anyways. And then the Ravens, a playoff team. The Dolphins are probably going to be a playoff team. And the Ravens and Rams are 2 teams at the top of the division. If you could split with one of those guys and take out the Dolphins, like I said, 2-3 is a win if you can enter week 6 with that type of record. Obviously, it's easier said than done. They're going to be playing the backs, but the Colts still have a great roster. Top 2 O-line in football. It's not the first time Carson Wentz has gone down and his backup shined. It wouldn't be the first time, excuse me. They have a top 2 O-line in football. They have a great backfield to rely on. Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack. Receiving core, T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman Jr., who am I missing? Jack Doyle, Paris Campbell, Zach Pascal, Mo Alley Cox. The defense is great. Tyquan Lewis, DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, Odeo DeBingo. Excuse me on that pronunciation. Second round pass rusher. I can't pronounce his name for my life. Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore, Xavier Rhodes. They still have a phenomenal roster. To be honest, if the Vegas odds have switched now, like Carson Wentz is out and the over-under is 6 wins, I'm betting the over for the Colts. I still believe in them. I still believe, Jacob Eason's just a backup quarterback. I'm not going to expect him to be a Nick Foles run, but you guys know what I mean. I would still bet on them to go over 6 wins. I think they could get 1 to 2 while Wentz is out, and then when Wentz is there, I still think they can make a playoff push. They might have to go in a wild card now, and I might not be able to run for the division anymore if Tennessee's looking at 4-1 at the time that the Colts are 2-3 entering week 6, but still, I think it's possible for this team to still come out on the other side due to the weaker division. The Jaguars, I like them in the future, but not this year. Rookie Trevor Lawrence, rookie Urban Meyer. Texans are not worried about them. It's almost a two-man race for the AFC South. Titans fans are smiling, but still, I believe in the Colts to turn things around. So that's the positives. A, if you can enter Week 6 and still be fighting for that 500 mark, you'll be looking okay to make the playoff run. B, you're still in a competitive division where you don't have to just make a wild card run. You can make a playoff run at winning the division. And C, the trade with the Eagles was a conditional second-round pick that the condition was if Carson Wentz plays 75% of his snaps, the Eagles' second-round pick that the Colts gave them turns into a first-round pick. If he doesn't play till Week 6, he won't be playing 75% of his snaps, and therefore they kind of kept their first round. Obviously, that's not your biggest worry right now. Your worry is I'd much rather him play Week 1 and be ready and lose a first-round pick than play Week 6 and keep my first-round pick, but still looking at the bright side, looking at the worst possible case scenario of how long it takes for him to come back, there's some positive note to it. It's not the end of the world. This Colts team will still be decent. I believe in their roster. When you got a top 2 O-line, even a backup quarterback can win some games. When you have an amazing run game, even a backup can win some games. I'm not counting them out. I wish their tough schedule wasn't that tough at the beginning because with the backup, it's going to be hard to compete toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson, a Tennessee division rival, Miami's defense. It will be difficult, but I do believe they could squeeze out a win or two in that 5-game span with the great O-line and with the great run game. And Frank Wright, you know he's going to be hitting the books, coaching more, or coaching better, or more determined than he's ever been. And of course, obviously I can't just say, oh, they're going to win because Frank Wright's just been trying so much harder. But still, that extra incentive these guys playing, they have to step up to the X level, and they're going to demand that much more out of each other. I could see them squeezing out 1 to 2 wins in the first 5 weeks if Carson Wentz was to fall all the way back to Week 6. Idealistically, if he could come back, not Week 1 and only be 5-6 weeks and he's back, or not Week 6 and now it's all of a sudden 11-12 weeks and he's back. If he can meet somewhere in the middle, miss 8-9 weeks, and Week 3 he could show up against Tennessee for a division rival, and maybe they're 1-1, lost to the Seahawks and beat the Rams, or vice versa. Even if they're 0-2 and they could go in Tennessee and beat them and become 1-2, this Colts team will be okay. Again, it hurts to see. This is not what you want to see, and I do think this hurts their playoff chances, but I don't think it diminishes them by any means. It's not completely gone, and what I mean diminished, I kind of use that wrongly, but it's not completely gone. The window to make the playoffs and make a run is still open for this team. Nothing is over yet. We still got to see how this thing's playing out. Maybe Jacob Eason will be the next best thing. Maybe 6th-round rookie Sam Ehlinger will be the next Tom Brady. There's got to be some positive side of this team with this amazing roster, amazing line. I would not be surprised if this Colts team is still in contention to make the playoffs with or without Wentz, assuming he comes back at some point. Again, there's bright sides to it. Great roster, manageable games with this good O-line, and manageable division, and the first-round pick contingency plan. Either way, we'll just have to see how it turns out. I do want to hear your thoughts. That was just my reaction to it, guys. It's awful. I don't want to hear it, but I do still think the Colts could pull out a decent run in 2021. You guys tell me what you think, though, and of course, you kind of heard my thoughts, whether or not they can make it to the playoffs still. You guys give me yours. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.